morning. Thanks for joining us on Enterprise TV, your television station that upholds the tradition of truth. It's a wet, rainy Tuesday morning in Lagos, and you are live with us on our newspaper review. With me to dissect all the media headlines today is the quintessential barrister Ofeli, who is in the house.
Thank you.
You're looking red today.
Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So everything we do, we leave it out there for you to catch up if you were not live with us across all social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. Let's hit the papers today. Lots of screaming headlines, but we will be starting with the Vanguard newspaper. And the top headline there, barrister, sealing of Secretariat, PDP fumes as Tinubu intervenes. Other buildings or organizations are involved. FIRS, FCTA disagree over ground rent. We also have Saudi Arabia deports Sheikh Gummi barred from Hajj. That's in the Guardian. In the Vanguard newspaper, I wouldn't go to the other papers yet. I think we should chew on this sealing of a secretariat of the PDP on the Vanguard newspaper. Barrister, is this a coincidence, or is this part of the woes of the PDP at a time like this?
I think Wike is taking opposition so too far. I mean, he is even in the opposition party that he's working against.
Can that be? Is that now a fact?
Well, because he is still in PDP. He's still in PDP. But working closely with the APC, and had accepted an appointment with the APC government, working for them while still in PDP. Now, this issue about ground rent, he has gone around, okay, calling everyone, whether prominent or not, to adhere to the laws of the land, which is good, okay. I mean, if it were not politics, ordinarily speaking, it's the right thing that whether you are prominent, whether you are a political party or not, in the FCT or in any other state, you must abide by the land laws of the country. The Land Use Act, have provisions for every landowner building, situating places for you to pay ground rent. And that ground rent is actually government revenue, okay?
Okay.
And it is critical that everyone pays it. That is talking from the ordinary standpoint, from the standpoint of an ideal situation.
Okay.
The political party is not supposed to be exempted from paying ground rent. They are supposed to pay that by law. Okay. But when it becomes vindictive, when you are now taking it, when the motive behind your action is now to, make it difficult for them to plan, to gather or assemble or to use their facility, that is when it becomes wrong.
Okay.
Yes. You ordinarily ought to pay ground rent, pay, and all that, but if it shouldn't be vindictive, it shouldn't be...
I think we will get to discuss elaborately on that when we get to the main conversation, but it's a headline we couldn't overlook at a time like this. We'll move to the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian, the screaming headlines, they say, anyway, let's start first of all, it's Children's Day. It's across all the papers. So I'm a child. Let me wish you happy Children's Day.
Yeah, we used to be children before we became old, and we became grown. And whilst we were children, we wanted to be adults. Now that we are adults, we want to be children.
No, sometimes I wish I'm still a child. Once I cry, you put whatever I want in my mouth.
Yes.
I bet there's that artist who says adulthood na scam. Are there some elements of truth in that?
Well, I don't. It's scam for those who don't want to work, really, because it's saying it's scam because of the responsibility that comes with adulthood. Okay. The responsibilities are too much. Someone chronicled it that just one person, you are telling him that the school fees for the children, there's no food at home.
2.
We want to buy suya.
3.
The children don't want to eat what is available again. They want to 4. Eat shawarma and all those other things. There is Pampers. You have to buy Pampers.
5.
You have to attend to house rent.
Good. 6.
You have to attend to all manner of things.
NEPA
In-laws, NEPA bills,
Gas.
gas, family, extended family. People are sick. People need assistance on one man.
Did they explain all this to that man before he got married?
It never. Nobody explained anything. In fact, they were even those who conspired to make sure that he's coerced to get married. Now, those people now, when the responsibility arises, you cannot find them. They will be missing in action. Meanwhile, they are the ones that say, you are of age, go and marry. Okay? So that applies to everyone. The responsibilities of life, they are so enormous, especially for men. And you must have the war chest to brace up to it. Otherwise, you will be described as something else, something below what a man should be.
Okay, so instead of singing adulthood na scam, we should be singing work, 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 work.
Yes,
or double your hustle.
Adult life is actually responsibilities.
Okay.
We must brace up to it.
Well, happy Children's Day to all the lovely children of Nigeria from Enterprise TV. We wish you a secured future, irrespective of how the country seems. Enterprise TV tells you to remain positive. As we know, as we've heard all our lives, Nigeria go better. Let's stay on that lane. Still on The Guardian, Barrister Ufeli, EFCC recovers part of the 1.
Guardian or Vanguard?
We've moved to The Guardian.
Okay, Guardian.
So EFCC recovers part of the 1.3 trillion naira from collapsed CBEX. Is that good news? Will some of this money be put into to solve some problems, or we are just told and then?
Yeah, at least they are recovering, and that is what is important.
Will it go to the CBEX customers who lost their money, or
that is the core? That is the core. That the complainants, okay, in this case, who actually have lost resources. The call to EFCC, therefore, is because most of the times when these funds are recovered, the complainants still go home with nothing. Okay? Then this call was made by Libros Oshoma yesterday in his Facebook page that the EFCC, the swiftness with which they returned those houses that was recovered from Emefiele.
Yes.
So the ministry, okay, that's responsible, and the subsequent auctioning of the houses, that with that same swiftness, they should recover funds that belongs to complainants and then remit same to the complainants by the measure at which they contribute, okay? But most times, the EFCC hardly do that when it comes to resources like this. They target a proceed of crime, okay? But the person from whom it was taken from is alive and well and is there. So you ought to take it back. But it is good that they're even recovering. In most of the Ponzi schemes we've had, we've seen in the past, nobody recovers anything. MMM and the other ones that flittered around, the Wonder Banks and the rest of that. Today, nobody recovers anything from them. And so what is important is that they are recovering money. They will be held accountable. Okay, how much have been recovered, how much was lost, who lost money, and at the end of the day, they should be able to do something. Justice should be for everyone, should be for both the complainant, the defendant, and the society. Okay,
just before I take the last story on The Guardian, I would like to ask you in 60 seconds, do you think Nigerians will ever learn from Ponzi scheme?
From Ponzi scheme?
In 60 seconds.
Yeah, you know, it's not even about Nigerians. You know, it's about human greed, human appetite to double.
Is it greed?
To double resources. Well, it's gambling.
Okay.
Gambling is fueled by some desire, some insatiable desire to get rich quick.
Let me just chip this in. Do the well-to-do, the comfortably rich people, do some of them still gamble?
A lot gamble. When you go to the casino, you see it now.
Oh,
I mean, gambling it has nothing to do with whether you are rich or poor.
Okay.
It's a habit. It's an acquired taste. Yeah, so, and we know habits like that, you need a lot of money to sustain it. It's like someone that takes cocaine, for example. I have acquired that habit over time. And he needs so much money to keep up with that addiction. So it's an addiction, is something that people do. A lot of people, I've seen poor people who are, once they get money, the next thing is straight to the gambling
places.
Yes, they go and get the ticket. Even women.
Really?
Baba Ijebu, those, it's gamble now.
Yeah.
Legalized.
Ladies.
Yes, a lot of, they get and start to play. Because sometimes you can use a little funds to get so much money. By prediction, by guesswork, by intuition, by so many. Some people even go as far as getting initiated into witchcraft. So they enable them see beyond what they ordinarily would see, so that they can provide solution.
Oh my God.
There are websites, Telegram sites, pages and all that gives people prediction for a fee. So they give you sure numbers and you pay a fee. And
so it's an established...
it's an established...
that means that happy to die hard.
Yeah, no, it's something that is... I mean, the football matches they play all over the place.
Well,
there's a reason they make so much money from advertorials, from betting, from so many... Just bet whether this side will score or this side will score first. Or both sides will draw. Or it will be goalless draw. It will be just bet anything.
It's called go-go.
So anyone that falls into your prediction, you get some amount of money. So that's how it's done. And people lose a lot. People gain a lot from it.
So you win some, you lose some.
You lose some.
Okay, I'm reluctant to let go of The Guardian. There is a strip headline still on The Guardian. I would like to do 2 minutes on this. Reps withdraw compulsory voting bill over public pushback.
Very well. I mean, I was one of
commendable.
Yeah, very commendable. I was on the vanguard of this, vehemently saying that INEC should first of all go and exercise its own constitutional responsibility of political socialization and political education. The law that set up INEC did not just restrict its function to conducting elections. That is a list, just one segment of INEC responsibility. The bigger responsibility, that's why they have a department on voter education. There's a full department on it. That department is different. They are doing nothing. So the place to start from is that INEC should go and discharge that responsibility. They should not be in dereliction of that responsibility in the face of voter apathy. Okay. 2, the National Assembly that is pushing this bill, they are the first culprits. They are the first in breach of the law that set it up. The National Assembly, by section 88 and 89 of the 1999 Constitution, have what they call the power to oversight institutions. Any institution that is not doing what it ought to do, that is not carrying out its responsibility, or that is failing...
As stipulated.
Yes, wholesomely or partly in its responsibility as stipulated by law, it is the National Assembly's responsibility to oversight that. Now, the National Assembly have not oversighted INEC of voter education. Then it now have the moral justification to come up with a law to criminalize voter apathy. It cannot work. The people who should go to jail for that 6 months or pay 100,000 naira as fine, and it's a National Assembly.
For failing.
Yes, for failing in their responsibility to oversight. Then INEC for failing to carry out the function. The two institutions who are pushing this are they are actually the first respondent. They are the ones that should have acted in what they are telling the, because democracy strives on the liberty. It strives on free will and choice of the people. So anytime you make any law to stifle people's will or to take them to prison, because, I mean, the truth is this bill is actually hypocritical. Because now INEC is acting as though they have capacity. If all of us come out to vote, can INEC handle it? INEC will break down. Yeah, they can't handle it. So this voter party is even covering their incompetence, their inability to vote. They cannot, unless assuming but not conceding that it became law. Okay? And then Nigerians have to decide whether they want to exercise or not. Do you have the prison facility to keep all of us? Someone like Agbakuba said, you would rather go to prison than to be forced to vote. Do we have the facility to take the number that will dissent and put our prisons are filled up already?
And what's the condition?
Do they have you have the number of courts that will take us on arraignment and trial and remand? Do you have it?
It will be shoddy.
So you don't force what you cannot force. Okay, what you are supposed to do, if there's voter apathy, there's a reason for it. A lot of people are giving up on the system and the rest of that. So go and address that reason. Go and make sure that you, in fact, let the people even understand what it means to discharge civic responsibility. As predicated under Section 24 of the 1999 Constitution. It is even the Constitution, when it talked about civic responsibility, was careful not to put a penalty there.
Yes.
And you see, the Constitution even placed it in Chapter 2. Section 24 is in Chapter 2. And that Chapter 2 is not justiciable because it has to be free, it has to be voluntary. So now when you now come up, just wake up one day, you will now go and create a penal offense
out of
a free will situation or out of a situation.
So there's a difference between civic duty and fundamental rights.
Very well.
They shouldn't clash.
Yeah, they shouldn't clash.
I also think if you look at it that the National Assembly, Federal House of Rep and Senate, as well as all the state houses of assembly should show leadership in voting, because there are, when you watch the sessions, the plenary, sometimes you wonder if there are people, two things. One, the National Assembly does not offer Nigerians the widest latitude of representation, and two, a constituent member cannot ascertain where his rep voted in this clouded voice vote.
Yes.
You cannot say, oh, your senator or your state assemblyman voted for or against. Why don't, with that oversighting aspect, you say, why don't the National Assembly digitize their voting? We want to have Ruga here. When there are controversial bills to be voted for, you throw up the names. I would see my senator, this is what he voted for. Is that what our people want?
Yeah, they have that. They have that facility, but they don't use it often. You see that the
Did you say often?
Assembly.
This is. Let's put it 2 years of this government. Have they used it once?
They've not used it at all.
This is often. You are generous with them.
Yeah. Just let that pass. They don't use it at all, because during the Saraki Assembly, you know that on those issues, that time that they voted on those issues, affirmation, state devolution, and all those issues,
state police
and all that, they voted digitally. It was digital. Some of them stayed undecided. Some voted for, some voted against. So we saw it. In
such a situation where, in quote, it was criminalized, what happened to those who abstained?
Yeah, well, those ones who
are not elections.
Those ones who are abstained from voting on the issue, that means you have to.
Because I mean, it's a vote. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, it's vote.
It's vote. So it means nobody can be on the fence, so to speak.
And that's what they're trying to say. But it will not work, because people have reasons for not, especially in the kind of candidates that they won't win the primaries. Okay, in the last election, the election before the last, you placed Buhari.
2019.
You placed Buhari and Atiku. Why would you place Buhari and Atiku before me? I can't vote any of them. They are not. Two of them have no. They don't
have ideologies that inspire you.
They don't have political capital.
So if you don't vote now and then it's criminalized.
So
Olisa Agbakoba and say they would rather go to
prison than to. You cannot force. You can't force. You see, you cannot force somebody to vote. That example they give, that foolish example that they were giving, that in Argentina and Australia, if you don't vote, you will go to prison and all. I say, see, please, before you do such comparison, bring the Argentinian constitution and bring the Australian constitution and put the Nigerian constitution. Let us do a comparative analysis first. Okay? We are not the same people. We are not operating under the same laws. We are not operating under the same cultural affinity or consanguinity. So we cannot become. You don't expect us to become Australians or Argentines overnight. It will not work. So let us deal with our own case, and deal with our own case the way we can handle it. in our clan, when you talk about voting for leadership, it cannot be compulsory that everybody must. No. It cannot be.
Okay, so much on that. We move to the last paper, The Punch. John Akerele joins us all the way from Japan. John, good morning. You are looking like a newlywed in this your jacket. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so we are on the Punch newspaper, Barrister, and we are just taking one topic from there as we round up now. We will not dwell much on it. It says, Tinubu to inaugurate Lagos Calabar Highway Section 1 on Saturday.
Okay.
That much talked about highway. Is there so much progress on it? John, we just want to chew on this last topic on this segment from the Punch newspaper. You know that, let me use the word, famous Lagos Calabar superhighway. The Punch tells us at the bottom strip, Tinubu to inaugurate Lagos Calabar Highway Section 1 on Saturday. Let's give it a 2 minutes analysis. Are we scoring? Because sometimes the government starts some things in football parlance, they tell you, like a house on fire. And then after some time, it cools down. What's your take on this? Good morning.
Good morning to our viewers all over the globe, and good morning to my brother, Barrister Evans, in the studio.
Good morning to you.
You see, for me, I think we should stop this show of shame. Let me take you back in the memory lane. There was a time where we launched one airline, I will call it Nigeria Air. Where is Nigeria Air now? Do you understand? So the thing is, if actually you want to do something, make sure that it is befitting and is well completed. Now the road that they are doing, some will give it to them that yes, they are working on the project. But is that to a world standard? Can you go to other countries of the world and they can say that's the kind of road that they commission? A road that they say to you, 10 lane to the right, 10 lane to the left, in between is a rail track. The rail track is that be completed as well? So let's not just keep doing all of these things. Anything worth doing at all is worth doing well. But I know that our political class have this habit of rushing to commission something just for them to get the accolade. And at the end of the day, you see that it is just a wishy-washy approach just to rub the ego of Mr. President. I think that's what they did to Buhari the other time. The same thing now is happening to Mr. President here. I think just to rub up their ego. For me, as Nigerians, we are more concerned about the real dividend of democracy, that the road has been commissioned, people can use that road. After commissioning, can people use the road? The answer is no. So why are you commissioning an uncompleted project? Are we cost? We are not a cost people. So we should rather wait, let it be completed, and then it can be commissioned.
Okay, Barrister, they said the commissioning is Section 1. And as John has put it, is this to be commissioned in installments?
No, but they use the word they inaugurate.
Inaugurate.
The word inaugurate, that's because that's the conflict now. Mm-hmm. Okay. This inauguration they're talking about, is the inauguration, because I know inauguration is to commence. When you want to commence a thing, the name you give to that ceremony is inauguration. Yeah. But to the best of my knowledge, this road have been on for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like over a year.
And so why are we inaugurating it? Is that inauguration? Is it commissioning? Does it mean in their own context? Does it mean commissioning, or it means to flag off? Okay, because they need to give us some insight into what exactly they are talking about. For me, I do not think that expression, inauguration, there means they are starting it, because they started it already. What ordinarily should come to mind is commission, just like John Akerele have alluded to. Okay, except they give us an alternative view as to what they are talking about. But does it mean commissioning, or does it are they saying inauguration? If it means commissioning, why don't you wait until the road is fully done before you commission it? If inauguration means commission, according to them, because I think that this rush to score political card is part of our problem. Okay, it's first of all, it's one road that does not even have serious economic value.
That has been debated.
Yes, I mean, because there are other that would have, even though it's part of what they should do, let's have a road from here to. But today, is that road being commissioned or being inaugurated? I don't know the language to use anymore.
Okay.
But I think that whatever they mean, the road is uncompleted. That's one variable that we must take home. It's uncompleted. They've not completed it.
What we have, the details we have as we wrap up is that Dave Umahi, the Minister of Works, announced that. He said that President Tinubu will inaugurate a 30-kilometer, over 70% completed portion of Section 1. So that was my question. Are these inaugurations or commissioning in installments, or we speed up to meet the deadline and do a one-off inauguration, and like you say, immediately this ends, usage commences. But it will be expected. People are looking up to the government to fulfill their promises. This is one of them. It is also touted as a legacy project, but we keep tabs on them. The government likes to be seen to be busy, but just as the corner we are in now, in a matter of days or hours, the president and several governors will give their midterm report. Nigerians will hear a lot, but will be looking out at the street to see if the report contradicts reality. So we'll be ending here now. That's the size of Tuesday's newspaper review on Enterprise TV. You can follow us on all social media platforms on Enterprise TV 7. We'll be returning, and when we do that, on our main conversation, PDP slams FG after party headquarters sealed over unpaid ground rent in Abuja. Barrister Evans Ofeli and John Akerile will still be on ground to help us dissect that main conversation. Thanks for joining the newspaper review this morning. Please stay with us. Enjoy the rest of your day.